Who's lying?
Hello, YouTube viewers. This is Blake Fannin. Listen, I'm recording the news again, just to show you how soon the Lord could return. Read Matthew 24 and the book of Revelation to see what I am saying is true. Thank you again. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to do this in several videos.
American troops killed in combat many decades ago. But what about Kim Jong-un's other commitments? Is he stalling when it comes to giving up his nukes? Well, Blitzer is off today. I'm Jim Sciutto, and you're in the Situation Room. Well, President Trump denies a stunning claim by his former fixer and lawyer, Michael Cohen, that he knew ahead of time about the 2016 Trump Tower meeting where Russians were supposed to provide dirt on Hillary Clinton. But sources say that Cohen is willing to tell special counsel Robert Mueller that he was present when Donald Trump was informed of that Russian offer. That comes as Russia's Vladimir Putin praises President Trump and says that he's ready for another summit in Washington or Moscow. I'll speak with Congressman David Cicilline of the Judiciary and Foreign Affairs Committees and our correspondents and specialists standing by with full coverage. We begin with CNN White House correspondent Abby Phillips. Abby, once again.
YouTube viewers, I know I said I was recording the news for you to show you how soon the Lord could return, but he just clearly said to tell you, I am removing you very, 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 very soon. The Lord just said to tell you, I am removing you very, very, very soon.
For a third day, President Trump avoiding questions from reporters.
Mr. President, do you have any response to Cohen's allegations?
Instead, keeping the press back and holding a carefully staged event touting economic numbers.
I am thrilled to announce that in the second quarter of this year, the United States economy grew at the amazing rate of 4.1%.
Changing the conversation and refusing to talk about his former personal lawyer, Michael Cohen.
When did you find out about the Cameron model allegation?
Privately, a White House official tells CNN the president is fuming about a CNN report that Cohen may testify that Trump did know in advance about the 2016 Trump Tower meeting with Russian operatives promising dirt on Hillary Clinton. The president tweeting, and so the fake news doesn't waste my time with dumb questions. No, I did not know of the meeting with my son, Don Jr. Sounds to me like someone's trying to make up stories in order to get himself out of an unrelated jam. And angry that Cohen released a secretly recorded tape of Trump discussing a payoff to an alleged mistress.
We'll have to pay you.
In public, though, his aides insist that the president is not angry. Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, sitting down with CNN's Chris Cuomo.
I saw the president when the president first found out that he had been taped. And the president was completely shocked.
I believe that.
And he wasn't angry.
What's his mood like at the end of such a week like this?
Very positive, upbeat.
Meantime, President Trump meeting with his National Security Council behind closed doors to discuss election interference, a week after appearing to doubt that Russia would meddle in this year's midterms.
Is Russia still targeting the U.S., Mr. President? Correct. Let's go. Make your way out. No, you don't believe that to be the case?
And after the White House pushed off an invitation for Russian President Vladimir Putin to visit Washington, Putin today offering his own conditional invitation.
We are ready to invite President Trump to Moscow to be my guest. He has such an invitation, I've told him that, and I'm ready to go to Washington. I repeat once again, if the right conditions for work are created.
And White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders accepting the invitation, saying that they're waiting for a formal invitation to be offered to the White House. But this is clearly Putin putting the ball in the White House's court and suggesting that between the Russia probe and also the controversy surrounding the election interference in November, the time for a summit really isn't right now, Jim.
CNN's Abby Phillip at the White House, thanks very much. Let's dig deeper now on CNN's exclusive reporting that Michael Cohen claims Donald Trump was aware of plans for that Trump Tower meeting with Russians and aware of what they were offering to the campaign. CNN political correspondent Sarah Murray is here. Help our viewers understand the significance of this and what we've learned here.
Well, Jim, President Trump has denied over and over again that he had any knowledge of this meeting, but all of a sudden, Michael Cohen is emerging, sources say, with a different tale to tell, and one he says he's willing to share with special counsel Robert Mueller. Michael Cohen now claiming that Donald Trump knew in advance about the June 2016 meeting at Trump Tower, where Russians were expected to offer dirt on Hillary Clinton, sources tell CNN. And sources say Cohen is prepared to tell special counsel Robert Mueller just what candidate Trump knew and when.
It is quite a bombshell. If it's true and if it can be corroborated, it would mean that the president was willing personally to accept Russian help during the campaign. So it effectively brings the issue of collusion or conspiracy right to the president's feet.
Cohen, Trump's former attorney, who is currently under criminal investigation in New York, claims he was present when Trump Jr. informed his father and several others of the Russians' offer, sources say. Cohen even alleges Trump gave his nod of approval for the meeting to go forward. The president, his attorneys, the White House, and others involved in the meeting have repeatedly denied that Trump had any knowledge of it before it took place.
I just heard there was an email requesting a meeting or something.
Do you know at the time that they had the meeting?
No, I didn't know anything about it. It must have been a very unimportant meeting because I never even heard about it.
This is not a situation where the president was involved in this meeting, was not aware of the meeting, did not attend this meeting.
Did he really never, you didn't know about this meeting until a few days ago?
Yes, that's correct.
Did you tell your father anything about this?
It was such a nothing. There was nothing to tell.
Trump Jr. even testifying under oath before the Senate Judiciary Committee in September that he never told his father about the meeting. When asked, did you inform your father about the meeting or the underlying offer prior to the meeting, Trump Jr. responded, no, I did not. When Trump Jr. was later asked why he didn't share news of the possible meeting, he responded, because I wouldn't bring him anything that's unsubstantiated before I knew what it was actually about myself. Last year, Cohen testified before 2 congressional committees regarding Russian election interference. But a source familiar with Cohen's testimony tells CNN he did not testify that Trump had any advance knowledge of the Trump Tower meeting. Now the president's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, is attacking Cohen's credibility.
The man is a liar, a proven liar. There's no way you're going to bring down the president of the United States on the testimony, uncorroborated, of a proven liar. And I guarantee you, this guy is a proven liar.
When just a few weeks ago, Giuliani seemed to have plenty of faith in Cohen's truthfulness.
If he believes it's in his best interest to cooperate, God bless him. He should cooperate. I do not expect that Michael Cohen's going to lie. I think he's going to tell the truth as best he can, given his recollection. And if he does that, we're home free.
Now, Donald Trump Jr. and the special counsel are making news today for the most random of reasons that perhaps would only happen here in Washington, D.C. A photo emerged in Politico of them at the same airport today. You can see Donald Trump Jr. there in the hat, the special counsel sitting there at the gate. Peter Carr, who's the spokesman for the special counsel, who does not often put out statements, said this: that is Mr. Mueller waiting to board a flight. If it's accurate that the other person in the photo was Donald Trump Jr., Mr. Mueller was not aware of him and had no interaction with him. It is a very small town, Jim.
It's a small world. Sarah Murray, thanks very much. Joining me now is Democratic Congressman David Cicilline of the great state of Rhode Island. He's a member of the Judiciary and Foreign Affairs Committees. Congressman, thanks very much for taking the time on this Friday.
My pleasure. Good to be with you.
So, in light of CNN's reporting here and the president's denial today, essentially you have Michael Cohen, the president's longtime former attorney and fixer, and the president in a he said situation. Who do you trust, Cohen or Trump?
Well, I think first of all, we should understand that Mr. Mueller has a lot more information than many of us have, and we'll also look at the kind of conduct of the president and the people around him. Let's remember, the president first denied this meeting took place and then said there was a conversation about adoption. We know from the text message or emails that were sent to Donald Trump Jr. that he knew it was about Russian operatives having dirt on Hillary Clinton. He said, I love it if that's what it's about, and that the meeting took place. Even Steve Bannon said it's hard to believe that that meeting would have happened without Donald Trump, President Trump, knowing about it, candidate Trump. And also look at all the behavior of the president in both refusing to say anything negative about Vladimir Putin and refusing to acknowledge Russian interference in our election, a number of Trump operatives lying about or forgetting about meetings with the Russians. So again, you have to look at it in the context of all of these facts, and I think President Trump is in a tough position to argue somehow we should believe that he's being honest and we should disbelieve Michael Cohen. The president has a long history of not being truthful. Michael Cohen understands that if he's not honest, he will be unable to reach an agreement with the special counsel. He has to come clean and tell the truth as a cooperating witness. If he provides false testimony, no deal, it will be blown up, and I think he has to understand that and does. So I think we have to wait and see, but this is very disturbing and I think very alarming information for the president to hear a witness who says he knew about this meeting, he authorized it, and we shouldn't forget, this is an adversary, a Russian operative going into Trump Tower to meet with members of the Trump campaign to help them, and as the email to Donald Trump Jr. said, as part of the Russian government's effort to help Donald Trump and undermine Hillary Clinton. Yep. Think about that for a minute. This is really significant.
No question, and you make a good point there, because the defense you've heard, for instance, Donald Trump Jr., when this was exposed, was not that taking the meeting itself was a problem, but that really they were just disappointed because the Russians didn't show up with the dirt that they had promised. But I want to ask you, because Donald Trump Jr., as you know, he told the Senate Judiciary Committee that his father knew nothing about this meeting. Now you have Michael Cohen, a man who claims to have been in the room when Donald Trump Jr. told his father about this meeting. Do you believe that Donald Trump Jr. needs to be called back before Congress to answer to this?
Well, I don't think there's any question that once it becomes clear that Michael Cohen is prepared to offer that testimony under oath to the special counsel or to one of the congressional committees, that it's absolutely appropriate for Donald Trump Jr. to be brought back to explain what appears to be untruthful testimony. Look, everyone understands the interest in protecting your dad, especially if your father's the president of the United States. But when you take an oath, you're required to tell the truth. Congressional committees have a right to expect that. There are legal consequences. It's a crime if you lie under oath. And so I think the congressional committees should be very interested in bringing back Donald Trump Jr. to ask him some additional questions.
Yeah, listen, someone is lying here, and we should know that Michael Cohen, according to our reporting, is willing to testify before the special counsel. So he's willing to put his money where his mouth is, as it were, and face what would be legal consequences if he were to lie in that context. I want to turn, if I can, to other important news, because as you're aware, the White House says that President Trump is open to visiting Moscow for another summit with Vladimir Putin. Of course, this is just a little more than a week after the president had what was widely seen as a disastrous summit with Putin by Democrats and Republicans. Is this a time for the U.S. president to meet again, for this U.S. president to meet again with Putin?
Absolutely not. Remember, Vladimir Putin said that this summit was useful, and I wonder, useful to who? Maybe useful to Vladimir Putin, but not useful to our country. Look, the Russians are engaged in very aggressive behavior. They invaded Crimea. They are involved in actions in Syria to prop up Bashar al-Assad. They attacked our election. The American president needs to be clear. This will not be permitted. There will continue to be consequences. And we need to treat the Russians as an adversary. That doesn't mean you don't talk. That doesn't mean that you try to change their behavior. But acknowledging their attack on our democracy and their ongoing effort to interfere with our 2018 elections, and the idea that the president invited Vladimir Putin to the White House, the greatest icon of American democracy, the People's House, to invite someone who attacked our democracy into the White House is appalling. Nor should the president go to Moscow. The American president visiting Moscow after that country attacked our democracy sends the wrong message, particularly since the president has not been a strong spokesman for advocating strong action against the Russians for their aggression. In fact, has been minimizing the attack, diminishing it, saying it's no big deal. Maybe a big, heavy guy in New Jersey did it. I mean, it's really offensive that the American president is not defending our democracy. Whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent, this is about making sure the American people decide who represents them in this country and not a foreign adversary.
Let me ask you this, because we just learned yesterday, as sitting United States Senator Claire McCaskill, and in fact, a key toss-up race in this current election, the upcoming 2018 midterm, she confirmed yesterday that she was targeted, thankfully unsuccessfully, by Russian hackers this year. Russia attacking today. I just wonder, when you speak to your Republican colleagues, do they say privately to you, do they express privately concern that this president is not leading on protecting this upcoming election from Russian interference?
I mean, occasionally you'll hear one or two colleagues do that, but I'm frankly not interested in what they do privately. What we need is everyone, Republicans and Democrats, to